got nipple.
Got nipple. So it's not record on the nipple machine. That's fine.
No. That one my nipple only. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Right. My earphone here, sorry. Okay. Zoom. Okay. Share screen. Got it. Okay. So it's recorded, huh? Okay. Share screen. Okay. Toot. Yeah. Okay. You can see, huh?
Can? Oh no, cannot see it. Okay, coming up.
Okay, current slide. Jonto.
Wow.
Yeah. This is my Bera, John. My Bera Mandi. This was taken some years ago on a 6-pound line. So I took a 23-pound Bera Mandi on a 6-pound line, John. You see there?
Wow. Yes, interesting. Wow.
Yeah. So this was actually unfortunately it was Chinese New Year. So I couldn't record it. It was on fly line, you know.
Wow.
So actually it's a world record IGFA class lah. 6-pound line and a 23-pound barramundi. The current record at that time stood at 8 pounds only on a 6-pound line. So it was quite an unusual catch. We makan this barra after that. So
how long it takes for you to land this?
Oh, half an hour. I was running around like a monkey, man. Yes. So yeah, you're like John. I'm a very avid fisherman. I do all sorts of fishing, pond, river, jungle, sea, anywhere there's water, I'm there.
Okay.
So okay. I'm also a very avid biker. Okay, I love my bikes. Okay, I've been biking since I was young. And my nipple leg, you can see. So the one Facebook they cancel you. So yeah, always my Harleys, my super bikes. This is my naked, my Honda CB 1000. And now no more lah. Now relaxing. So I think maybe after Brexit then. No, not Brexit, but after this COVID, I can go riding again. Yeah, I love making photographs of flowers. Those who know me, I just love flowers. Above all things, my favorite kind of photography. These flowers I made on my handphone. Okay, I make handphone flowers. Okay, this is a pak choy. Pak choy also. I like vegetables. I like potatoes. I like carrot. I like still life of any vegetable. I just love flora. I love lotus. Like all of you, I love lotus. It's also handphone. Handphone made. No special equipment. This one actually won some international award. Strangely enough. This one also was published internationally. Also handphone. Okay, handphone again. This also handphone. Okay, all handphone. No special equipment. There's the little bee there. I always like it when the little insect lands on it. And you make a lovely photograph of a flower, and then you make it translucent. It gives it an extra magical feel. Handphone again, all handphone. Handphone also. Handphone. This is I think I can't remember what plant is it. I think bunga raya. I think. Yeah, double petal bunga raya. Very beautiful. This was me when I was very young. My God, look at that. This is a picture of a picture, you know. Okay, that's me and my girlfriend at the time. Now my wife. It was in a frame, so I took this picture because it's a meta comment. Meta comment means it's a photograph of a photograph. Okay, and it's always nice to take photographs of photographs because how to say it reminds us that photographs have meaning, you know. And this is a photograph that was in a frame. I can't take it out, so it's quite dirty and it's fallen a few times, so it's cracked. And I just like it because I can't do anything with it, you see. So it's like a Polaroid, you know, it's locked in space and there's nothing much you can do with it, you see. So I like this photograph a lot. It's a photograph of a photograph. My wife, this is our firstborn. Okay, this is my second born. My wife so young those days. I was a child. I was a kid myself, small child at the time. My boys are all grown up, already now gone to work. Okay, my eldest boy is a cop. My younger guy is actually a very famous hairstylist. He's working for one of the top hairdressers. He's actually a good colorist, lah. My younger boy, he's one of the top colorists in the country at the moment. So he for young men has done very well for himself. Most dads will say, "Hey, why you let your son become a hairdresser? What am I to do? He wants to do, let him do, man. And he's good at it as well, and he earns more money than me. So what to say?" you know my house, we live in a small little cottage in the middle of nowhere. I've got a woodland garden, and we when we first bought the place, it was a shithole of a place. So we renovated ourselves. We dug everything, put everything down. It was a mess. This place is 200 years old, so we had to like really sort it out.
You have your
Painted
own
up.
excavator, Kevin.
Oh yeah, here very easy. Here you just rent your own excavator, 30 euro. What do you call this? An hour. Or if you want to rent for the whole weekend, usually we rent it for a couple of hundred, and then you dig yourself lah. Very
Good
very
lah.
easy.
Kevin, if you ever go to Ireland, you better rent it. We go dig up your whole garden.
Yeah, it's fun though. Very fun though. It's actually fun to do, and yeah, I like to do DIY. So I built my back porch.
Wow.
Uh, it's fun lah. It's fun to slowly do lah. And things here, you just get it ordered to your house and you just put it up. Uh, so yeah, I dug up the whole back area. We put something like 20,000 tons of gravel down, and then we put a new back porch, which we eventually became was my studio lah. My studio.
Wow.
So I got a place to chill out. Do my work. So unlike people who got indoor studio, mine is a complete outdoor studio. So I work from outside, and the back space there where you see the gravel, this whole area here is actually an outdoor exhibition area lah. The idea was to have alfresco exhibitions in the garden itself, and we have a forest. We have 1.5 acres lah of a garden, and half of it is dedicated to wildlife. We've got birds lah, reptiles, all sorts of things here, and really we kept it as wild as possible to facilitate bird breeding, and also amphibian life, and a bit of wildlife. Not much wildlife in Ireland, but got a lot of birds here. We have a lot of birds here. My life is full of birds actually. It's quite wonderful. They come to the house, they eat with us. Um, we got another separate piece of land there, of which we have tidied up a little bit. And that one we're going to plant some more vegetables lah. We erected a polytunnel, and yeah, we grow vegetables there also for winter time. And outside, we rotate and we grow outside food. So we are food neutral. That means we don't buy any food in
Wow.
terms of vegetables lah. And then whatever surplus we have, we trade with our neighbors. And at the moment, after 2 years, we are nearly completely food neutral. That means we don't buy any food at all. So we grow what we have extra, we sell, or we barter, and then we get eggs and food lah, and meat lah. Occasionally, we will go to the supermarket and buy some food, but fruits and stuff like that. But the rest hardly anything. So yeah, it's good target to meet, because we've forgotten as human beings how to grow things, So it's important to at least have one pot in your house that you're growing something there. Even if you have no garden, it doesn't matter. Even if you live in an apartment, it doesn't matter. Have one pot or a little square piece of some dirt some earth grow something. We if we don't grow something, then we've forgotten how to be a human being. And it's quite amazing to actually grow your own food. It's actually wonderful. So yeah, I would encourage it strongly lah. My wife and I, we are very keen gardeners, and she's really into her garden line, and her work. She used to be a nurse. She used to be a nurse lecturer. She worked for KPJ for a while, and when she went to Malaysia, she couldn't speak a word of Malay. So she through a dictionary, just reading dictionaries and watching Malay films. She picked up Malay good enough to lecture in Malay. So she was a lecturer at KPJ University for a while, and she did quite well. I think she was with them for 10 years. And in the end, she said, "Look, let's time to pack it in, So we decided to go back to Ireland, So here we are, And yeah, recently I think I shared with the group that we were building a little pond, 1,000+ square foot lah. It's really to encourage more wildlife, more frogs, newts, and birds. We are very concerned about the habitat lah. For us, moving forward now is really about giving back to nature lah. It's important because the ecosystem. If we do a little bit for if we can lah, do a little bit. It's actually worthwhile. It's worthwhile doing. So this gives me a lot of happiness and peace of mind. Now, when I came to Ireland, I thought, hey, how to do photography here. So because I mean, I look at the pictures of the advertisements here in Tesco's or Lidl or wherever you go to supermarket. They use very plain looking women and plain looking men. Unlike Malaysia, where everybody's all made up nicely. Very posh and such like. Over here, it's slightly different. The concept is like women, if possible, are not expected to be made up. Okay, they're not servient. They're not there to serve the pleasure of men lah. So sometimes you see on the poster, women got pimple also, and yet they are photographed that way. That's how things have moved over this side of the world. So with Peter Lindbergh and his kind of photography of makeupless women, very plain. These are supermodels, very plain, hardly anything. Can't even see the eyebrows, then the kind of a look. See Mila Kunis looking, of course, Mila Kunis just looks beautiful, whatever she looks like. So and middle gray, even the whites of the eye is just slightly off, slightly off white, So it's a middle gray. So you can see very clearly he did the centimeter on the eyeball and took that as middle gray, and then everything sort of evolved around it. So nothing is overexposed, nothing is underexposed, everything just like the kind of a look, So very popular over here. So hey, how shit, man, can cari makan here? Can. So I also did the same lah. So I also go and do similar kind of things. You see. So my work over here, I've been involved with fashion. I've been very lucky. I've been involved with fashion, and I work with a very strong fashion house. Being with a strong fashion house is the shortcut to any kind of fashion work, right? And you got to get a boss that's understanding. So this was before COVID. I got a lot of work. It was quite easy to get work. My work was well received, and how to say? Yes, I was published in international magazines. My boss, my client, has 160 outlets worldwide. Okay, and they also serve Isetan and people like Dairamu. If those are familiar lah. So we've got offices in and around the world, from Australia, New York, Milan, and all over. So for me, it was easy to find work. I also did some work for most of my work is actually published locally lah. So newspapers will pick it up, and such like. So ministers will come and see me. So when ministers come and see me for photo opportunities, you get to chatting to them. See, over here, I'm the minority. I'm very much the minority. So every white guy wants to have a Chinaman next to them, you see. So it fits the profile, because it looks good to have a Chinaman in the pocket. So they will say, take your number. And so if an opportunity comes up, you're working in the Asian part of the town, they call you along. So you get some work that way, you see. So very easy, all right? So I work with artists as well. I do a lot of environmental portraits. This is Anne Daly. Anne has a studio by the West Coast, and she does a lot of paintings of seascapes. So seascape painting is a thing over here, and if you go to her site, Anne Daly's site, her paintings will sell for between 2,000 to 4,000 euro at any one time, or even more. So very, very, very famous. And when they get famous, I also get famous. Okay, so newspapers pick it up and we say, who did this photograph for Kevin? Oh, who's he? Oh my God, he's an Asian. So they want to get to know you also. So very, 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 very how to say, useful to be Asian over this side of the world. You see, in the past, Asian and Kwailo cannot mix, but then you have to play the game. You see, so yes, I know you need me. You see, that kind of a scenario. So okay, so yeah, I do environmental portraits of artists and such like, and people who are successful over here. I noticed the waistline, the dress there, see the coloring. I've matched her against the horizon, and a slight tilt always helps. Off teether, a slight diagonal on a flat horizon always makes a strong picture. Here again, you can see the line there, just slightly above the dog, below the darkness of the dress. Okay, um, again strong diagonals. I have fairly strong portraiture when I make portraitures, not your usual studio ones. Outside, people doing their thing, they're being happy, and it gives a different feel to their portfolio. Which, if they wish to put it up on your websites or their internet account or whatever it may be, this adds to the portfolio. This one here I did for Siobhan McDonald. Siobhan McDonald is a very famous artist. Um, and she carries my photographs as well. And when she's over on the west coast or in the middle of Ireland, she always gets me to cover her work lah. So I've been very lucky. I've got this is some of her work installation. So she puts up an installation and I take pictures of it. Okay, and those that I use for publicity either in editorials or in newspaper or in magazines and in also research papers lah. In Malaysia, I used to do for artists there as well, for their brochures or whatever it may be. This one was for when? This is Sophia Harun. She had one in what is that gallery in Taman Tun, guys?
Uh,
God,
City Hasma, is it the one?
what is it? What's it called? God, I can't remember now. Where was this? Oh, can't remember. Anyway, yeah. So usually what I will do I'll do a lookbook for the people who are doing exhibitions and such like that's I'll do environmental portraiture lah. So while they're working and such like I'll take photographs, and they will include it in their lookbook. It's a current trend, right? The people want to look like they're doing real things, so the more real it looks, the better it is. So this is where street photography comes in lah. When I was younger, I don't know how but I was picked up by the Italians have a fondness for my photographs. Anyway, the Italians picked up my work. This is a train station in Suraman. Okay, the train station lah. So when you're crossing the bridge from one side to the other, I took this with my handphone, and they thought, oh, they like this photograph, so they took it up, and then they did an exhibition on trains, on train station and trains in Milan, and one of my pictures was also selected. So I thought, hey, this is good. This is not bad, man. Quite easy to enter exhibitions if you know how lah. I've never paid for an exhibition. I've never paid for an exhibition, and I've never paid to enter any competitions ever. I don't believe in it lah, to be honest. So people who say, "Oh, you want to be exhibited and such like, please pay a fee," kind of thing. I usually say no lah. There are those who enjoy it, but I myself don't. I've been featured in a few magazines. Inspired Eye is a good magazine. It's run by a guy called Don Springer. Don used to be a Vietnam vet, so he and another guy in Vietnam, they have this global what it calls magazine called The Inspired Eye, and all proceeds from The Inspired Eye are collected through sale of magazines and such like, and then the money is used to how to say repatriate dead MIA soldiers lah, missing in action. A lot of soldiers missing in action are still in Vietnam. Bodies not sent back to US yet. So the America has let its people down in a large way. A lot of soldiers are still left in Vietnam. The bodies are still there, and he raises funds to repatriate them lah. So I've appeared a couple of times in this particular magazine. It's actually a great honor to be in this particular magazine, because among the street guys, Don Springer and his gang are fairly well renowned. I made cover actually for this particular one, and had a few interviews with them as well. This picture actually was inside. This was taken in Bukit Nanas, near near the monorail station. So this girl, I was following her, unusual pigtails, or rather whatever, the kind of bun, kind of Star Wars kind of bun that she's wearing, Leia Organa kind of look. Anyway, she was walking towards the traffic lights, and I took about 6 or 7 shots. I don't use a what do you call this? What do you call those things? Drive. What do you call motor drive? What do you call it? Um, I don't shoot successive, like four frames a second kind of thing. Every
burst mode.
Sorry.
Burst mode.
Burst mode, yeah, I
Burst
never
mode.
use burst mode. Burst mode in street photography is cheating. It's cheating because if there is a code of ethic in street photography is that you get your picture through how you see it, how you look. If you shoot burst mode in street photography, you're bound. We call in our game the Texas sharpshooter fallacy lah. The Texas sharpshooter fallacy is a scenario whereby you shoot against a wall, 10 shots, like then you draw a circle around it and say, look, aha, I got the 10 shots in the circle. Actually, you did not. You just shot a bloody wall and then you just drew around it, you see. So it's a self-gratification act. Like if you burst mode in street photography, it's a masturbation actually. It's a wank, okay? It's very pleasurable. I think, wow, look, I managed to catch the bird just flying over the head. No, you did not. Okay, so this one here, if you look at the lines and angles and the color, just ngam lah. So this was a very opportune picture. This one was taken in Penang, also purely opportune. Penang people, where is this place? I also don't know. I was taken to this place there. They say, go shoot out here. A lot of street photographers go down here. So I was dropped there for 2 seconds. I ran around, shot, and I came back. Where is this place? Do you know?
Near
Alan?
to Armenia Street there.
Okay. All right. So a lot
The
of
jetty
lot
in
of
between. Yeah.
yeah, lot of drawings there and such like. So hawker man was just going past. The painting was on a wall again, juxtaposition. Considered to be a good shot in street photography. Yeah. So this was also featured on the cover, global cover on this particular magazine. So very 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 good for me. A good thing lah. A good thing. This one here was chosen by some Italians also for an exhibition in Eastern Italy. This one here as well. This shot was also chosen. They just like Oriental things, basically, right? Okay. I was one of the pioneer founders of the Worldwide Street Photography Club, with 4 other people who are now mostly defunct. It's only Sue left and myself from the original group. So we started with 0. And we now have 102,000 members. It's one of the largest street photography clubs in the world. So you want to go and have a look at what street photography is about, please have a look, and you may learn a thing or two. People I was the first Malaysian actually to be in this particular group. I think one of the first Asian as well in this particular group as an administrator. Prior to this, Malaysia didn't have much of a voice in terms of street photography. So it was through these friends of mine that we managed to get things together. They were English people, one Turkish, one, and the rest were all English. It was a good group while it lasted. I've now got a bit quiet now because it's too big lah. The group's too big. 102,000 members. You really can't control. Too rowdy. But good for you too. I think I see Jun Chu's icon here. Jun, you're going to have a look. Jun's been there a few times. And those who are keen on street photography occasionally will post. Okay. I shoot very closely. Okay, if you see me there, I'm shooting at somebody. Okay, so you think June is close? I am also very close. I use 10mm APS-C sometimes. There's no such thing as too wide for me. So people say too wide, too close. Really don't know street photography. Street photography requires you to go as close as possible. All right. I think John Ichi and then John Kappa used to say it. So John Ichi said, what killed photography is basically the wide angle lens. But he didn't reckon that I would actually go so close to somebody's face. But the John Kappa, the famous saying, if you don't have a good picture, you're not close enough. So I will shoot. Okay, 1 foot, 2 foot, 3 foot makes no difference to me. The purists will say, the person is away, you're there. Okay, fine. those are shots that are not fully candid lah. But there are many ways of taking a street photograph if you are looking carefully. Okay, that's me again. All right. Yeah, I do carry two cameras at any one time. Okay, all the time. Okay, if possible lah. All right. Now, street photography is an odd thing. Okay, street photography is not about people. I always said it's about humanity identity. So, those who know me well will know that there's no such thing as a kind of subject. No, all right, all right. So here you can see there is a matching serendipity. We're looking for an occasion in street photography when things are just like, serendipitous, like ngam, it's correct. Pink, a girl wearing pink, her hair is pink, and she's sitting next to a pink sign. Amazing or not? See? Amazing or not? So how does this synchronicity happen? It's quite weird, isn't it? Okay. This photograph is one of my better photographs. It was taken in Awan Besar, and this won quite a few awards as well. And this one here, okay, just an example of you can do this anytime, anywhere. If you're talking about miscan, contemplative photography, or whatever it may be, if you're just paying attention, you just see a plane flying overhead at a certain angle, and there's like this branch happened to be there. Everything falls into place. Just take the photograph, man. And something will happen. Okay, you never know. All right, stripes. The usual thing like, okay, you got a hub here and you got a ball man. All right, you got a very strange thing going on here. So street photography is about strangeness. Okay, you got Guinness. Okay, what's on top of the Guinness? Anyone?
The crown.
Yep, white head, black body.
Yeah,
So
white
what's
head, black
walking
body.
underneath? What's walking underneath?
Yeah.
White head, black body.
Yeah.
So this man matches the Guinness lah. So in street photography, we are looking for odd connections that way all the time, all the time. I'm not a straight shooter. People like June and all, she would shoot a humanitarian kind of thing. I've been through that for a long time ago. I've not so much given up lah. The humanitarian part of it is of no interest to me anymore. The documentary part of street photography, in terms of street, doesn't really interest me that much lah. So I'm always looking for the odd thing happening. So this is an odd thing. Like if you can relate Guinness with a white head like this guy here and a black body, then you understand where I'm coming from. Okay.
Especially in Ireland, because they had an advertisement of Rutger Hauer, right? Where he
Yeah,
wore
that's right. That's
black
right.
turtleneck, and then he's like like a stereotypical white.
He was, yeah. I'm glad you remember that, Avita. It was a wonderful ad, actually.
Yeah.
The pure genius ad,
Yeah.
it was fantastic series of, and you like Guinness, It's fantastic, that drink. It's so nice. My favorite. Right, here we are. Okay. Just look at this juxtaposition here. This was not taken on purpose. It was taken, but as an afterthought, you can see the two guys behind him looks like they are going to kiss him, lah. But they're not really. They're just in juxtaposition. So it just so happens that way. So wonderful things about street photography is things can happen when you're making a photograph. Okay. Again, juxtaposition. All right. Anywhere you can do with your handphone, if you have a camera, but if you can carry a small camera with you, carrying a small camera with you is important as a street photographer, because when you have a camera in your pocket, you become a photographer. If you happen to have just a normal handphone with you, with your handphone camera, yes, handphone cameras are very, very good now. The new Samsung has got a 1-inch sensor, it's quite amazing, really. But I mean, if you carry a camera, somehow or the other, you will behave differently. All right. You will start seeing as a photographer rather than a guy with a handphone with the camera. This is my recommendation. So everybody go out and buy an RX 100 and be happy. Okay. All right, here, juxtaposition, you can see what do you call this, chairs hanging over a guy's head. The guy is blur, but blur is immaterial. In street photography, clarity is not the important thing. It's the context and the subject matter and the thought behind it. Cartier-Bresson always said, clarity or sharpness is a bourgeois concept in street photography. That means you want to talk about sharpness in street photography. Anybody who opens their mouth to talk about sharpness in street photography, don't do street photography. Okay, because the older guys or people like me will tell you, you're bourgeois, you're too XC, you don't belong into this group. We are here to express our how can I say, feelings about things. We're not talking about sharpness. Sharpness things are for competition and such like. These are not. It's an expression. All right. So hence, the dark, the shadow. Okay, we know a color here. Yeah, all three colors are expressed: blue, red, and yellow. Okay, primary colors are expressed. This is what I look for. This is what I see when I see a photograph. It's not thought about it. It just happens. Okay. So you think about these things beforehand. When you carry a camera, you don't think. You just shoot. All right. Again, in street photography, you talk about surreal tools. So levitation is one of them. So if you can manage to get a guy on a perspex roof mopping away, he's levitating. He's floating in the sky. Okay, so this makes for a surreal street photograph. You can also see the face is a street photograph. It's a surreal thing. Surreality demands that you don't show everything. So a shadowed face, you know it's a person. You have to make up the difference in terms of gestalt, in terms of whatever may be. Again, the same thing. All right, you got the angles, you got the light, okay, hidden face, mystery, street. Okay, you got a juxtaposition face on face becomes a super face. There's a whole concept of super faces. Maybe one day I will give a talk on it. It's when the brain recognizes faces in very strange ways. But when you juxtapose one face against another, it creates a strange feeling in your brain. Okay, here we have a juxtaposition. You got Barack Obama. Barack Obama has got his great grandfather. The great grandfather is Irish, So there's a little village near me here called Moneygall, and I like to go down there. Not that he goes there often, but if you're lucky, you can see him. Okay, this was taken at Suramban train station. Uh, what do you call a small camera. The guy was just sitting down. If you look at his neck carefully, you can see he's got a elongated neck because of the the movement. He moved, I think, within the quarter second, which took for me to make this particular shot. Okay, again, a surreal shot, slow shutter, surreal effect, street photography. Okay, this was made in Maidin. Nothing much, ma. So you just look for certain things. So here, scale. So you're looking at a fish, you look at a guy behind a fish, you think, wow, fish head's there, let's go. And this is what you get. All right. Somebody feeding somebody, normal photograph in the middle of the street becomes a surreal street photograph. Horses, I love horses. Like those who know me, I love horses. I like. You see where the horse's mouth is, and the horse's mouth is just about to touch the guy's head, in terms of juxtaposition. And the horse next to the guy is separated by a very very thin line. Uh, in photography or in art, let's call it aspective perspective. That means you just can see that the person is a human being and the person next to that horse, because there's no overlap, because of the gap. So that little gap over there makes this a good street photograph for me lah. So you can just tell there's a horse next to the guy. Can you see this gap here? I put my cursor on it. There.
Just see.
Yeah. So that for me, it makes the photograph. Okay. Those who see my Facebook, this is my horseback landscape. So the back of the horse becomes a mountain range for me lah. All right, so this is just imagine it to a mountain range, and then you see the sky at the back. Of course, it's not like the horse's back, but the framing and the cropping of it makes it so. All right, here again, I think I've shared with some people before. This is if you look from left to right, you can see the girl. Okay, she's gazing to your right. Horse is looking at you. Guy is gazing forward, and this one is gazing to the right as well. So you got a 1, 2, 3, 4-point gaze system going on here. For me, all in different scales, is for me a good street photograph. Okay, this is a good street photograph because of the angles. Okay, and the horse is looking at you as well. All right. Okay. Again, a very strange one. We got a strange triangular formation, almost diamond-like. Look at the ears cutting into his arms. Look at the guy's arms in terms of what do you call this? In terms of lines, mimics a horse's ears, and his legs are totally opposite of the horses as well. So you're looking at a cross here and a double cross. So for me personally, this is one of my favorites. It's a very good street photograph. Those who may not be able to can see, There's an X here. All right. And here Oops, sorry. Okay. So yeah. So here, 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 here. So this mimics this. This mimics this. Okay. And of course, gaze direction. All right. Again, gaze direction. Okay. Horse in motion. And here is the fingernails. Here, here, and the colors here. Okay. This makes a good, for me, street photograph. Yeah. So we don't know who's underneath the Carlsberg sign, but we can presume it's somebody there waiting to be served. So again, quite weird. Which is more dominant? There's an interplay going on there. This was made in we have here a tradition of what's called a Christmas swim. The Christmas swim is where on Christmas Day itself, everybody dives into the lake or the sea and goes swimming. Frozen lah. So here I took a picture, and there's a guy here you can see on the right hand side. Sorry, left hand side, he's holding his handphone, and here he's standing very still here, and there's a person standing very still here, and there's a post here, and a boat is still, and a person there is still. So you got a few still people with people running around. This makes a very surreal photograph. All right, it creates movement, and for me, good street lah. Wow, say my own work is very good. Okay, a face in a mirror on the ground. But he's not supposed to be there. There's no person in the ground, yet he's there. Street photograph, surreal. All right. A woman with his boyfriend, very boring. Time to find a new boyfriend. Okay. Again, juxtaposition. Uncle with another uncle. Although they are not together, it looks like they're together. Nice shot. All right. This was in KLCC. I think the poster is no longer there. I think it's Aquaria, isn't it? So the turtle looks like chasing a woman. When I took this shot, the guards came and chased me out. I said, "Tak boleh ambil gambar sini ya." I said, "Sorry, okay." Okay. There was a celebration. I think there's some lion dance, dragon dance, whatever it may be. Woman walking past with this particular dragon. Nice juxtaposition. She looks almost like the dragon. Okay, gestures. I like the arm on the top there pointing out of the frame. Anything that goes out of frame leads you to wonder what's going out of the frame. What's happening there? Who's that guy? I can't see his face. If you look at the arms there, the parallel lines are there. They're both mimicking each other. You're just wondering what they're hearing or not hearing in that case. Okay. Again, same thing. Can't see the face. Again, can't see silhouettes. Okay, same place. Yeah, you're wondering what this girl is doing. The word etc. at the back is making your mind run a little bit. Okay. Wow, meat eating. Can. No taboos in street photography. Whether you dare to do or not. Okay, this guy, this one here, everybody knows. I think near Brickfield Central. Near the I think it's the what's that bra company? Who's this? Who's the bra company? Who's the
Victoria's Secret.
Okay, Victoria's no secret now. So she's wonderfully staring at you, and you see a guy's face. So you're thinking, what is this here? Is this a real person? Who is real? So we got some surreality going on. Big head going to smaller head, and silhouette of a face and a back. All right, this is for me one of my favorite pictures. Once in a while it comes. It seldom happens. Maybe once a year, once in 2 years. Wait till what you see. Obviously, you saw it already. What do you see?
The two eyeballs on the back as well as on her face.
Yes, yeah, good. Very, very hard body to catch a picture like this. Very, very hard. Okay. And when you see it, it happens. You have to take it. Okay. But this one comes wrong.
She's not good. She very garang. She very fierce.
Actually, she's smiling lah. Just you can't see only. So anyhow, but this is a good picture for me because seldom get a picture like this. Maybe once every 3-4 years you'll get a shot like this. So like the birders who are always looking for new species, I'm also looking for new species of photograph lah. So it's a different game. So the hunter is always hunting. Okay, a guy eating a banana. Fantastic shot of a guy eating a banana. I like it a lot. This one is old uncle there. He think, what the hell are you thinking? So I said nothing lah, uncle. Ciao. Okay. Okay. Again, wait out. Can you see what's the mimic here? Her hair. Look at her hair. Where else do you see it mimicking in the picture?
The coffee cup at the top.
Yep. And then on the side, see Lucy in the sky. What you see there?
The sky also has a little wave there. Yeah.
Yes. So that wave mimics the wave in her face.
Yeah.
Once in a lifetime shot. Seldom comes. If it comes, you're damn lucky. This is what street photographers are looking for. I'm talking about serious street photographers, not those guys who just go out and simply just shoot, tembak, 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 wah, a few people like Kwasakara, all kind of thing. No, this is of no interest to me at all. I'm looking for coincidences. I'm looking for diagonals. I'm looking for geometry. I'm looking for strong similarities, either in color or in shape or in theme. That gives me the kick, lah. Uh, so here, okay, nothing much going on. A guy is just having a shave. Again, this is a straight, what I call a straight shot. Okay. Again, gaze direction. Well, bird is looking at a woman looking at a bird. The other woman is looking at me. I'm looking at her. So it's a four-way thing going on here. So quite interesting, lah. So here also we got gaze direction. Okay, you see that guy there. He's looking at the Indian guy. The Indian guy is looking to the right. Ultraman is looking at the other Ultraman. Okay, and then the somebody yeah. And who's the guy at the bottom there?
Nobita, right? This is the Doraemon.
Mogida.
Ah.
He's looking somewhere else as well. So he's looking right. Ultraman looking at each other. The fella is looking at the Indian guy. Indian guy is looking right. Fantastic, lah. So okay, even toys can come into the game in street photography. All right. Okay. Here the pun is in the foot, lah. So the foot is on the head, on the top there. All right. So you see this guy. You see the head. Suddenly you see a foot there for no reason. Okay. Actually, it's just a thing. But you in street photography, you look for this kind of things. You look for this kind of weirdness. All right. Here, you look for this kind of weirdness. All right. So cheerful girl, grumpy guy. Symmetry here, very unusual. This particular picture. It so happens that these girls were wearing the same things and they were sitting on a train. All right. Okay, this girl here is like that she's not making a rude sign to me. I think she was just trying to scratch her eyes. But she looks at that very precise moment like the cat scratching herself. So she looks like a t-shirt, very, very strange. So these are the things we live for, lah. Okay, this guy obviously telling me to F off, lah. So okay, this girl here almost looks like her head is gone. She's thinking about something else. She looks like she's cradling her face, just like on the poster, the face is being cradled. So this kind of similarities we are looking for. All right. Uncle can't see his face. Okay, this guy's got, you can see legs on one side, feet on the other, and slippers detached. Here. Okay, street photograph. Straight shot. Okay, uncanny valley. Face dummy, which is real, which is not real. Similarities. Okay. Huge circle and hub of mess going on here. Everybody's looking everywhere else except for the baby is looking directly at me. Okay. All right, this guy is framed by a frame. Would you believe? So he's sitting there and he's framed by a frame. This girl just happens to be here, so looking at similarity again, circles with a smiley face. Guy in town putting his hand into a puddle. God knows what he's doing, but these kind of unusual things are always good. There's a reflection going on. He's looking at heaven while he's having his cupping. Here, if you can see, there's a person cycling, but you see on the building itself, there is a person scaling the wall. All right, so it's an odd picture. Dolphins going through the wall. Surreal pictures. Dolphins don't go into walls. And then you got a guy on a white background and a guy coming out of a framed by a shop door. Okay, cat. Guy wearing Crocs. The corner, just light play, shadow play. Light play, shadow play, color. People peeping out from the corners, dissected all the way. Interesting. Those who can read Chinese, what does it say? I also don't know.
I mean, this is the temple, lah.
Yeah. Don't know.
Yeah,
Is it?
CMU, you remember? Chinese New Year.
Chinese New Year. Oh.
Yeah, during Chinese New Year.
It's the Yap Alai Temple, lah.
Oh, yeah. This one here. Okay. Yeah. All right. We've got subframes. They call it subframe. When you got frame within the frame, it's called subframe. This makes it stronger. Of course, you put diagonals in, even stronger. Yep. Go to interesting places. When you go to interesting places, you will find interesting things to photograph. Okay. Here, we go to a place, got dolls hanging out. It's kind of weird, it's spooky. Even just a nice picture of a bird, lah. My swan. A guy swimming. The interesting point here is the guy's coming from the water, but the ball on the top right-hand corner there makes the picture. Because it brings from your eye from here to here to here. So you are looking very strongly here, suddenly you have to look there, you see. Then from there it goes out of the picture. All right, diagonals are always strong. Okay, a person entering a frame tight to the corner, you're ascending the stairs with him, suddenly you're stuck here, you're wondering what's going on here, creates a mystery, it's always good. Right, this bird here, of course, one way to what? Ravens are harbinger of death. All right, okay, this picture here is a very strange one. This was just, I think, Sultan, I think. But I like the fact that this little thing is up here, and the girl's in the middle. So you're wondering how this is being held up, what's happening here, why is she so lit, everything's so dark.
You know what?
She was,
Kevin, if this part, right, for me lah, as a work hazard for my client, this kind of picture, I will delete the top part already. I will clean
That's the
up
problem.
the entire thing.
But once you clean out the top part, there is no longer a street photograph body. So this is the you have to keep this thing here, because this is the oddness that is street photography, you see. So it's a strange thing. You need to understand. With street photography, it's got nothing to do with aestheticness. It's got to do with something odd. Okay, something odd and something that is going to be there in the picture, and you can clearly see there's an odd thing there. You something that you will appreciate lah when you go along. I understand what you're saying. I won't keep it there. It's horrible. Understand? Just like the bola one earlier on. Like this one here. Why you have the odd ball there? See? You see that?
Yeah, for me, I will remove it out also.
Yes, but it's if you look at it carefully, it's the ball there that creates the tension. Correct or not? Correct or not?
Yeah, but
So that's why it's there. It's there is to create tension. So it's something you have to appreciate in street photography. We leave things in the frame to create the tension. It has to be done on purpose. You cannot just simply leave it there for no reason. So unless you don't know what we're doing. Okay. Like here, if you were doing this for a client, this person here, you would have waited for them to be clearer. You see? But they're all muddled up. That kind of thing. Here again, street photography, you see here? This lion looks like this lion's head hanging there and this guy is walking by. So there's a connection between the two of them. Usually, if you want a portraiture, you won't do this one. Why you want to put a lion head next to a guy? But this is a street photograph. Okay. Now look at the similarity here. This one here and this one there. Same thing. Now we got a repetition of themes. All right. You've got her body. What's she using?
handphone.
Yeah. What is behind?
KL tower. KL tower. Yeah, telecom.
Yes. So she's using a handphone next to the telecom tower, and she's walking across the thing, with a picture of her walking across. So this looks like her. Her is using the phone, and there's the tower at the back. This is a good street photograph. You understand or not? Understand? It's a very strange thing. The street photography, it's not normal, All right. A lot of people have a misunderstanding what street photography is about. It's got nothing to do with normality. It's got nothing to do with documentary. It's got to do with very strange things. Okay. Okay, got time or not? I think we can call it. I mean, we can always continue another day, another sharing another time.
11 o'clock already, Kevin.
Yeah.
No, you want him to go to bed, is it?
Witan.
Rita sleeping.
Kevin, question. What camera are you using?
All sorts lah. I actually use the Fuji system. So I've got the all lah, the X100, the XE2, the XTs, X Pro, on the whole system. I got the whole system. I enjoy them all actually.
And Kevin, you say you always carry two camera bodies. What lenses would you have on them?
Okay, my current frame is 10-24 zoom, and or a fix what do you call this, 23 lah.
So you have the ranges overlap, so you just want to have a sort of fixed focal length camera on your body.
Usually, if you're going to do street, I would recommend, if you got to go out with people like June lah. because June is very much in your face, so you can see what she does. So people like me, I tend to disappear in the crowd. One day when I'm back in Malaysia, you come and see me shoot. We go shooting together, and
definitely.
you see how we play. You know, we kind of like so like that lah. Okay, we just become like a dumb fuck. You know, so when you're a dumbo, people just ignore you, okay? And they give you a lot of room to maneuver and act like a Ramus lah. You know, it's silly a bit. You know, not too serious, but you know exactly what you're looking for. But really, if you ask me, wider the better. Wider the better.
For me, it's very difficult for people to ignore me, but people give me a lot of allowances.
Yes. So I think in your case, you can take very good street photographs, in fact. You know, that's why you said last time, I think you mentioned a GoPro. GoPro, even as a still camera, because of its huge wide angle ability, you can take some pretty strange things with it, you know. So it's not to be what do you call this? You can put on a long tall pole, you can swing it about, you can get some wonderful pictures. So yeah. So again, street photography is about strangeness, lah. I know what you're saying, Moni. I understand. But what you're saying is documentary photography or street portraiture, which is what June is doing. But my kind of street photography is a very old type. It's a very old type. It goes back to the French school, and it's got messages inside lah. It's got messages inside.
Not many people will understand the message. Until that I met you now at this Zoom, I mean, like only you explain, oh, okay, this is how street photography people will explain the photos from the point of view of what you are telling. Yeah.
Yes. Because the street photography gang globally can be a bit elitist, you know. They won't tell you one. They won't tell you. It's not in their nature to share because they're quite secretive in their way they approach things, and it's like for a lot of photographers, street is the hardest lah. It's the hardest thing to do. It's actually very, very hard to do good street photography, and it's the ballsiness of going up to people standing there, you know, thick skin, you know, and just whacking away lah. That takes a bit of it, and you cannot use telephoto. So if you use telephoto for street, those who are taking street photographs will scold you. You know, they will scold you. You are not doing things properly. You're not supposed to use telephoto lenses. So anything longer than 50 is wasted in the street lah. So go below 35 full frame and enjoy yourself. Okay.
Can I know these photos that you're showing now? Is that a poster? Or why this guy passing around and that lady? The size is 1:4. So I think, what is this photo?
Yes. So this is again a strange photograph. This is in the street. You won't see somebody climbing a wall in the street. So this happens to be a poster, and a guy is walking past this poster. So because of the flat plane of a photograph, see, it's understanding how your photograph works. Photography is a flat plane. Okay. So you got a flat plane when the person. So you must look through the viewfinder. You know? Once you look at the back of the camera to take a photograph, it's not the same anymore. Try as much as possible to use your viewfinder. When you do that, you see a flat plane. You see a flat plane because you close one eye. You no longer got stereoscopic vision. So, and that flattens the plane. When that flattens the plane, you can create a single plane with two separate subjects. So in this case, it's a illusion lah. The first picture is an illusion anyway. So the second picture, the guy walking past the picture, is an illusion also. And you are making an illusion with the meta photograph of a guy walking in front of a photograph. So the kind of philosophical thinking. Any questions, anyone? I will share more. Too many lah. So
but you know, Kevin, you promised you must share more in future because.
Oh yeah. I got plenty. I got plenty to share. It goes on and on and on and on. Non-stop. So too long for tonight lah.
So share again because I think that I think you have to share in digestible chunks as well. You know, like what we share today. You know, we sort of go back, we think about it, and then we sort of you know, this is how, you know, even Bonnie now is such a straight lace commercial photographer. She's coming around to sort of like appreciate street as well. So Kevin, to
Yes.
your credit, you've actually done quite a fantastic job now.
Yeah. You know, I understand where Bonnie is coming from, Bonnie. Because I know your, especially your kind of work, it's very, 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 especially your architecture work, and your product work, you cannot compromise, really. I understand because I do those kind of work as well. So my clients are compromising with certain things. It has to be like that for editorials, purposes. No choice, ma. But street then is completely and absolutely different. So once you get to walk around with June, you will understand the deep nature of street lah. If when all this is over, when we have a cup of tea in John To's house, and coffee there, we can talk about these things. Great. It's very, very, very fun one, And the best, see, like things like this, you see, like this photograph here, it's very odd. It's very odd. It shouldn't be. How can a girl be?
Can I ask you these photos? When you taken these photos, you already see it, or after you shoot it, only you come back and then you only notice? Because for me, sometime after you shoot the photos, you come back, only you notice, hey, there's something is here, hey, there's something is there. Only you created.
All right.
There's
two types. There's two types of street photographer. One approach is to do the grace hole type, which is you see something, you wait. You see something, you wait. Okay, so you are waiting to catch the animal, to catch the photograph. Sometimes you are lucky like this. In this case, you see something, you snap. So the key is this, or you know there's something there, but you took it, but you didn't know why, right? And that's also a strong possibility. Remember, what you see is 80% in your mind, right? So you may not have seen what's going on around you. You're distracted by your mind. That's why when you go out as a street photographer, camera and your hand is very loose, and just relax. Don't make good photographs will come. You see, my pictures, you look at it, but it's nothing like Lydia Ho's pictures, nothing at all, right? Because my pictures are very strange, okay? They're very odd, all right? So I'm looking for coincidences here. So here we got a woman using a phone next to KL Tower on a sign that she's about to cross, looking like exactly like her crossing. So it's very odd, ma. So these are the things we are looking for. These strange little things, And the one with the googly eyes, the woman with the googly eyes. How often can we come across something like that? So you're fatat, really, strike for us, strike gold, So as street photography, as you remember, goes back to Cartier-Bresson and goes back to the surrealists. Now the surrealists have always said this, that the chance happening, the chance occurrence is the one that will whack you to the side of your head and will open your mind to other possibilities. So we are always looking for chance, you see. That's why you must never use the burst mode. Because if you use the burst mode, the chance occurrence is no longer there already. Because you are already killing the chance, you see. So you are actually allowing chance to have no chance. So you want to have chance. It's better not to have the photograph than have one that you knew you were going to catch because the bird is flying over the head. So rather don't have that. You wait for the next one. It can be years between one good photograph and another. I tell you. So as for shots like this, maybe once a year, twice a year. The rest of the time you're just shooting only. So like that lah. Like that. Huh? Any questions, anyone? Stop sharing. But I will share later lah. So much to share, but late already. So I hope you guys gain something from it lah. So Benedict, come go street photography. That's one job.
Yeah. I learned a lot tonight from you, Kevin.
Right? You'll enjoy it. Yeah.
Totally new perspective on street photography.
Yes,
Benedict, you walk with the lions, no problem lah. This thing.
Yeah, man. What is a fierce Indian?
No. After this, I gotta check my roof. If the lions are there, I'll send them to TRK.
But yeah, street photography is an odd thing. Always remember the key thing with street photography is chance. Number one, always about chance. Number two, when you take a good street photograph, which is not just documentation, not documentary, It's got, you see an old man there, drinking. You see most street photographs is just people doing normal things lah. People walking along, or doing something, or some color, or some stripes, like zebra crossing, umbrella. Those things are valid. I'm not saying they're not valid, but if you can create photographs that have a weird meaning, some weird connection, look for that. Look for that weirdness, That is where you find your treasure. That is where you find your beauty. Because it means something. It means something, not just a composition. So that kind of thing. That kind of thing. Yeah.
Thanks, Kevin. So
Mom
tomorrow,
Daddy, enjoy,
yeah. Tomorrow we go from something that's very chance and like a surrealist and all that to something that's completely staged. So tomorrow we're gonna have Young Sun. He's going to be showing us like fashion photography as well as I think this was this guy's from Penang, right? Yep, one of Richard's recommendation, I think.
No, I think it was Kia recommended.
Oh, Kia's recommendation.
He's also a former Olympus instructor.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. So I think he's I'm not familiar with his work, but from what I've seen, they are all very top notch. Yeah. So tomorrow, we're going to we come in and 8:30. And then hopefully if we have a gap again, we do this open jam again. And then Kevin, please do share your photos again. I think definitely. I think the only limitation now is that we cannot go out and practice what we are sort of all these things that you're teaching us. We cannot do anything with it. We cannot do anything with it. It's so pent up. But I think it's great now. Yeah.
Yes, it's fun. Fun.
And not only that, it's not just. What's fun about this? There's a collective of people following your work. So like, if I go to see Richard or Kimbun or John To, then we can talk about these things, and we actually have a language that we all understand when we talk about surrealism or juxtaposition or why we're shooting in black and white without having a stupid teh tarik debate that's pointless.
Right.
Photographers do a lot. Photographers do a lot.
Yeah. Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah, pleasure. Anytime.
Thank you so much, Kevin. Learn a
my
lot.
pleasure.
Learn a lot.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Okay, good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Good night.
Stay safe.
Yes.
And thank you all for sharing. You've been great.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Right.
Good night. See you tomorrow.
Good night, Lang Lai.
Good night.
Good night, Lang Jay. Good night, Lang Jay. Lang Lay. Good night.